Good morning, and let's get it. It's Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. This is probably one of the last solo ones for this month. Probably one of the last solo episodes for this month. Got some people lined up I need to talk to, I need to share with you. But for today, I want to talk about how to make a living as a creative. How to make a living as a creative. And when I say that as a creative, that means as a creative artist. That means as a creative person who is into self-expression, developing and creating things with your hands, computer, whatever it might be. And when you do this, I want you to look at this from a perspective of taking an idea, shaping it, designing it, making something out of it, and making a living by doing that. And that's pretty cool, right? Know a couple of graphic artists and painters and muralists, and they make money because they charge by the project. They make money because they're not always just chasing, simply to be out there. They know their niche and they work it and they get it done. So I just want to go through some things about how to do that. Really rethinking your business approach. Like I said, this is Black Business Month. We're still talking about Black businesses and developing and supporting Black businesses. And one of the things to look at here is as far as content creators go, about 30% of content creators identify as creative artists. Keep that in mind. So people on YouTube, people on TikTok, people who are blogging, they identify as creative artists, whether it be creative expression through video, photography, creative writing, any of that. They're creative artists. Okay. Then throw this into it. When we look at minority content creators, about 30 to 40% of those individuals, according to various surveys and reports, identify as creative artists. So even in the segments and subsegments of the creator economy, you've got individuals who match what I'm talking about. And then you have the individuals who haven't quite figured it out, who are still trying to test the waters, who most probably would fit into this category, just so you know. So take it from here, right? This is us going into creating a business based upon being a creative artist. How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, here's some things that we need to look at. I've shared this before, but let's take a look at it again. This makes sense, man. If you're going to turn your hobby into your hustle, you've got to look at what does that contain? How do you reach people? How do you build an audience? Do you already have an audience? Do you already have clientele? Are you trying to do this in segments? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to do this in stages? And so you can turn your personal pastime, right, into part-time income, right? That's simple. That's easy. That's possible. Those are potential things that you can do. But you're not going to get to that Etsy shop if you're not dedicated to the craft. And you're not going to put anything on that Etsy shop if you're not dedicated to building it out, right? You're not just going to have one item on the Etsy shop. If you've got a design, think of how you can create various aspects of that design. If you have a download For instance, you do greeting cards. Have at least 3 to 4 greeting cards. Have a seasonal set of greeting cards. Think about it like that. Don't just lock into, oh, I only made this necklace and nobody bought it. If jewelry making is your thing, make more than one piece of jewelry and have more than one piece of jewelry available in your Etsy shop. If graphic design is your thing, make more than one design or illustration and have that applied to more than just a coffee mug. Put it on a t-shirt. Heck, put it on a bath towel. Something, but have it available on Zazzle or wherever you get your merch printed and have it available. Cafe Press, whatever, have it available. But don't just sit up here and say, I've got artwork and you've got one design that you really haven't built out, you really haven't expanded out, you really haven't thought it out beyond that, and you're saying nobody's shopping with me, nobody's supporting me as a Black artist. Well, you got one design. Come on, expand that thing, draw it out, let them come to know you by more than one piece. That would help out. Are you doing jewelry tutorials? Are you doing, any blogging on the process? Are you doing courses on how to make jewelry? What are you doing? So as a creative artist, you can do it, but it may not happen the way that you think it should happen. With photography, listen, you don't have to do weddings and models. What about people's pets? People love their pets. They want pictures of their pets. Snap some photos of pets, right? What about landscapes? What about putting your stuff out there and creating your own greeting cards and postcards and selling those, right, to local tourist shops? Think about that. Snap some pictures of your area, famous landmarks in your area. Get some good pictures. Touch them up on Adobe. Jump on over there. Get them printed. Work out a deal with the tourists, gift shops. Get on your way. Be on your way. That's one way to do it. But if you're not thinking about it beyond just, hey, man, I took a great photo. It had high resolution. It was lovely. It was a masterpiece. And nobody's buying it. Nobody's downloading it. Man, do you realize how many photos are out there on these different sites? Right? You talk about Pixlr. You're talking about Pixababy and all these different places, and you're like, well, nobody's downloading my stuff. Yeah, because there's so many other options and so many other shops that have a reputation, that also have customer base. They're offering more than one thing, and so let's get real about that. You can't be a one-trick pony, even as a creative artist, and think that that's going to suffice for you in building a business. That's not going to be sustainable. That's not going to last long. That's not going to carry out very long in any manner. And so no matter what your background is as an artist, you've got to develop some things as a business person as well in order to make this thing happen. And let's talk about making a living as a creator. Here's some solid things you can do and be done with it. Number one, you need to learn about some things. You need to learn about some new skills, right? Every day within your craft, pick up some new skills. Pick up some new skills in how to edit videos more so, how to manipulate photos and what filters work best with your photography and the light and the time of day and lighting, all those different pieces of the process. Develop new skills that you can add, and then you can develop new services. Learn about how to do new services. right? If you're not going to do people and their pets because you think, well, that's probably saturated with people at the dog park, hitting up folks and everything. Go beyond the dog park. Get on Craigslist or LinkedIn or somewhere and say, look, if you have an exotic pet, I'm creating a calendar of exotic people and their exotic pets. I'd love to take 5 pics of you and your exotic pet, and then give you copies of which one you'd like to select for yourself for free. If you want to buy more, you're welcome to buy more from me. But I'll give you one for free based upon you and your pet participating in this calendar that I'm doing. That's one way to do it, right? Learn about creating new services. And then within that, learn about creating sub-niche clients. What are those? Those are those who are within your category, who are in a very specific corner or segment of your marketing category. That's your target audience. I love going to Comic-Con. Sometimes I think it's too much, though. You know what I mean? I got to be honest. Sometimes it's like, whoa, I thought I was a fan. I run into people and, whoa, there's a whole nother sub-niche of folks who, with the cosplay and everything else, they're fans. I'll wear the Batman t-shirt. I'm not wearing a Batman costume, right? And so you marketing to me as a fan of Batman is going to be totally different than marketing to the person who's wearing the mask, who's got the muscle suit, who's got on the boots, who's got on the belt, and doing all this different stuff. Totally different. That's another sub-niche of comic book fans. Can you market to that group? And so you need to learn about it. Learn about it and figure what's going on with it, how to get more connected to it. And then you need to lean in. Lean in and make it happen. Lean in and try it out. When I say try it out, I'm not saying try it once and say, well, that didn't work out. No, lean in and do it for 60 to 90 days consistently. If you're doing it weekly, you give it 90 days. If you're doing it every day, Monday through Friday, give it at least 60 days. People have to hear about it. People have to think about it. People have to schedule it, put it into what they're already doing with their lives, and then people might give it some more attention. Unless you've created some serious urgency for this thing to be a high demand product, you're going to have to give people time to get on board. You need to lean in before they even get hooked on it. Understand that. And so leaning in means you're invested in this and you're going to carry this out for whatever test period. And after you test it, are you willing to try it again? Are you willing to tweak it and try it again? After you test it, are you willing to tweak it and try it again and give it another 60 days? 120 days doesn't even amount to half a year, right? That doesn't even amount to that. So can you make that investment in your business? If that's what you want to do, if you want to make a living as a creative, then you've got to level up, right? I get it. We want to make things affordable. We want to make things affordable for people. We don't want to turn people off because it's quote unquote not about the money. But if you got to do this as your bread and butter, you got to be at least at market rate. Save the discounts for some other time, some other place, some other way, but you've got to be at least at a market rate. And when you level up and you're delivering quality, you need to charge like you're delivering quality. Some people will be too afraid to get involved with you because, well, at that price, what am I really getting? At that price, am I really getting the commitment from you as a photographer? Or am I just getting whatever you happen to shoot? At that price, am I really getting the commitment from you as a portrait artist, or am I getting whatever your interpretation of this is? That's where we need to figure it out. That's where we need to step back and get real with it, okay? And so when you level up, right, I'm at market rate. I'm no longer a beginner. I'm no longer new at this. I'm trying to take this to a different level, and in doing so, my rates should reflect that. In doing so, my breadth of services should reflect that. Spell it out. What do people get? My packages should explain that. My bundles should explain that. My seasonal specials should explain that I'm worth what I charge. I'm worthy of my wage. That's what that should say. And when I do that and I level up, now I need to start leveraging what I already have. What do I already have? I already have the skill. Now, can I share those skills in other manner? Can I share those skills in a Medium article and spread the word online? Or can I do it on a blog? Can I share those skills in a tutorial? Right? I'm going somewhere here. Can I share those skills in a tutorial and make other people learn through my tutorials or my courses? Can I do this in a master class? Can I do this in a master class where people get the skills, get the information, and learn about how to do what I do? Can I share this with other people and leverage into another market of what I do? Can I do this via podcast, or does it need to be video? Does it need to be visual? Right? Can I do both and be effective? What is it that I am doing as a creative artist to make my stuff known? Can I partner with someone else who has a show and they're doing some stuff and talking about some things that fall right in line with what I'm doing, and boom. If I'm an illustrator and I've been illustrating for video games, can I go on a show with a gamer who has a video podcast and start sharing some things about a comic book I have coming out based upon a video game, or vice versa? Whatever may be the case, can I leverage my resources and my relationships to where I can get into new markets and get seen by new sets of eyeballs? Because as I do this as a creative and I try to get into business further and make more of a living out of it, I need to create multiple streams of income based upon what I'm doing as a creative. I can't sit up here and just depend on, well, whenever clients show up, right? I've got to proactively market my business. You can jump on Fiverr and all that stuff all you want to, but that's only going to give you a segment of people. That's only going to give you a segment of the market. How many people that need your services aren't even aware of Fiverr? They're not even aware of Upwork. So they're not going to upload a job description or anything on those sites. You might do better marketing on LinkedIn. You might do better marketing on The Patch, answering people's questions, and then saying, and if you need it, my services are available. Here's my information. Leave it at that. But you've got to get out of here and do these things. I would say learn about new stuff, new skills, new services, new sub-niches. Lean in. 60 to 90 days. Get it in, test it, tweak it, try it again. Level up. You've got to be at market rate, and you've got to show that you're worthy of your wage. Your work is worthy of what you're charging people for in the realm of creative artistry. And then finally, you've got to leverage your resources and your relationships to advance further. That's what you got to do. Hey, it's been Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. God bless. God be with you. Amen.